IDF soldiers, and I'm not talking about this conflict, I'm just talking about overall, how many IDF soldiers are currently serving prison sentences for things like rape? And I came up. It was an article from
You came up with 2, right?
Wait, hold on. It was an article from the Israeli Times that talked about this shit going on, and it goes on in every
on and on and on, on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Like there are
on and on and on.
In every group of
on and on and on.
There are rapists.
On and on and on. On and on and on. That's right, we get it, brother. Okay, we get your point, brother. Pass the mic now. You done had your chance. How long are you gonna go, Svo?
This isn't getting
Just Google it, man.
Hello?
Why people have told you how to find it?
security of war, which
That's the only
Israel
sentence
has,
he knows. Can you
and
please?
which the,
Because he had them and he said it sounded, so I'm trying to learn from
I
what
give
he
you
found.
many links, but you don't care.
no,
That
you,
you're just
the
an
enemy is not
Israeli and you
playing
don't
by
care.
the same rules.
Hold on. Listen, moderators. Do your jobs, please. Come on. Like, you guys can't speak over each other. It sounds like a shit show. Okay? Like, let's have a conversation, a real conversation where we can, like, people are doing other things in their life. Like, we're just not just sitting here in Clubhouse, like, holding the mic the whole time. Like, we're trying to listen, and we want to hear everyone's voice, right? So there's 10 different people talking at one time. Come on. Like, let one person speak, and then the next person can speak after them, and then we can hear both of you and get both of your opinions. Okay, that's why it's debate.
So this is Nicholas. Can I go,
What was
Kevin?
conveniently
I'll go after Norm.
Go after me. What was conveniently left out of what we heard about the United Nations Security Council is that they demanded that the hostages be released. They've been demanding it since October 7th. We're still waiting to hear back from Hamas about releasing the innocent hostages that they took. My bet is they're never going to do it because they don't know where they are.
What about the 20,000 hostages that you
Hang
took?
on. They've been torturing and raping and killing them. So again, you say that they
You have no
demanded a
proof.
ceasefire, but yes, we do, because we have the testimony of the
You
released
do not.
hostages.
You do not.
Yeah,
And what about
You gotta
the
stop
20,000
interrupting
Palestinian
him.
hostages?
Hang on,
Stop
you're talking
interrupting
over me,
him.
sister.
Let him finish.
Wait till I
Don't
finish.
interrupt
Let me
him.
He
finish.
keeps talking.
Let me finish.
Stop
Since
interrupting
October
him.
7th, the world has demanded the return of the hostages. It's fallen on deaf ears to Hamas. So the fact that the hostages that were released have reported that they're being raped and sexually assaulted while they've been held there. These are war crimes that Hamas has to be accountable for them.
So I was
Okay,
gonna
since
say,
you're done,
wait, no, let
please
me
let
have
me
my
talk.
turn. Sorry, ma'am. You got. Wait your turn.
You guys keep talking over these women. It's really bad.
You keep talking over her. Let her finish.
What are we talking about? I literally asked if I could go next. It's not me being
Man,
rude.
hold on a second. Hold on.
Right?
Listen. Hold on. I'll know. Like, if somebody talks over somebody, just throw them down to the audience. Like, we want to have a conversation. We don't like to exercise our power, okay, with the green beans. Okay, we want everybody's voice to be heard. Like, please, okay? Like, El Normo, wrap it up real quick, and then Nicholas can go right after you, or Nicholas can go right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was just gonna say,
Let's
like,
go.
yeah, real
And
quick.
Gary, mute your mic.
Yeah, I was very intentional about waiting till he was done, so I wasn't trying to talk over her. It just wasn't her turn. The second thing I wanted to say is I do think that I find it so the situation. I honestly do agree with Netanyahu put out a statement saying it was an accident. I do think that it could have possibly been an accident. But I also think that in general we hold Israel to such a high standard. This is a war, right? Ultimately, it's such a war. Nobody calls it America for killing 70,000 innocents in Pakistan, right? Nobody calls it America for killing 200,000 civilians in Iraq. We don't talk about it. It just gets a pass because it was a war, But like Israel does one little thing incorrectly, it's blasted all over the news, and I don't think that's necessarily fair, to be honest. That we hold it to such a high criticism when we don't even hold our own military to this level of criticism, or even talk about it. But.
Okay, so
hold on one second. hold on 1 second. You can go, whoever the woman was, you can go right after me. Listen, if you're adjusting the stage here, like green bean ever, okay? Like, do not adjust the stage. Do not.
Well, Kevin, bring Divine back up then.
Well, somebody's reversing stage. I don't know who it is, but like, stop it. I like Lauren and Divine and several
They left
people have
on
been
their
moved
own.
down. Like,
They left on their own. Let's be real. Let's move on.
Laura, Divine is in the audience.
He's put himself there.
he doesn't go down. He doesn't go down to the audience on his own. Okay, so let's keep it.
By the way, he moved.
Oh,
I
okay,
was
okay.
saying,
Yeah, exactly.
Who's the
Let's move
woman? Let's
on.
go.
let's move on, please.
Yeah, I was saying he was talking about hostages, but what about the 20,000 Palestinian hostages that are still held by the IDF, and most of them have been tortured?
They are.
Or are you going to say give me
Let her
purposes and
finish.
truth?
Let her finish.
Yeah, I'm done. This is my question.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so earlier someone had said that I was totally wrong, and then proceeded to talk about something that I didn't bring up at all. I specifically brought up the ICJ rulings. There were 2 in January and a third one in March, and every single thing I said about those rulings is 100% correct. Now, the person did bring up the United Nations Security Council resolution, the most recent one, which was passed in March, the end of March, 27-28. And they said some truthful things about it and some false things about it. First of all, the resolution in nowhere and in no way condemns Israel. There is a call for a ceasefire. That part was true. An immediate ceasefire on all parties. And it specifically called for a temporary ceasefire for the month of Ramadan. And they specifically voted against an amendment which would have made it a permanent ceasefire. And only 3 members of the UN Security Council voted in favor of a permanent ceasefire. So even the UN Security Council that is being brought up as an example specifically chose to deny asking for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. And as Norm correctly pointed out, in addition to the demand for the immediate temporary ceasefire during the month of Ramadan, they specifically asked for the immediate and unconditional release of the hostages, which, as Norm correctly pointed out, has not been done by Hamas. They're still holding these hostages. So let's not pretend that Hamas is not in violation of this UN Security Council resolution, nor try to pretend that they called for a permanent ceasefire, because they specifically rejected it. It's not just that they didn't include it. They had a vote on a permanent, and they voted against it overwhelmingly.
Okay, but again, what about the 20,000 Palestinian hostages? You did not answer that. You cannot, because it is true.
Because there are no
I'm sorry, what? Daniel, I did not talk
They're in
about
prison.
They're
in prison. Where
They are being held in prison for what exactly? They are being held hostage.
Doesn't matter.
Well, they were
It doesn't matter
convicted
because
in
they
a
are
court.
Palestinian and that they are not Israelis. So when they are Israeli hostages, you care, but when they are Palestinians or they are just in prison.
No, because there's a
You guys are
difference.
hypocrites.
I don't know how you
Can
don't
you
understand
get
the
hypocrisy?
difference between a civilian that is at home,
You
is
do not
kidnapped
yell
by
at me.
terrorists,
You do
and
not yell
held
at me.
as a
That's
hostage, versus a person who
They
is
are not
arrested.
terrorists. They are.
Can I finish my sentence? If you can't understand the difference between a person who is a civilian, who is kidnapped in their house by a terrorist and brought into another territory and held hostage, versus a person who is arrested and brought into a court of law and convicted of a crime and then arrested. We don't use the word hostage.
There was no
for
crime. There was no
criminals
crime. There were
that are
kids there.
arrested
There were
and
kids
convicted.
there.
Now, if you think
There was-
they were improperly arrested and improperly convicted, that's a different discussion. But that's not a hostage.
Right. That's just someone that's being held against
against crimes that you can't clearly define. And so you'll hold them for how many years? And for the person that brought up the UN resolution, why were the other ones vetoed by the United States and some of their allies specifically? Because if I understand correctly, various other countries brought up resolution that they did agree with, and the US and other countries abstained or in some cases vetoed those resolutions because they wanted to give a favorable position against Israel. And the only reason why the U.S. then brought the current resolution, which was passed, was specifically because of the political optics that Biden was facing here at home. That was the only reason why.
Can we get back on topic? And who's modding right now? Is there a mod?
Me. I'm we're on top.
Really? I thought we went way sideways.
Go a little sideways, but sometimes it's okay. But yeah, let's get back on topic, like Laura said.
Can we move on to the Florida abortion topic, Kevin? Can you tell us what's going on with that?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, can I talk about that?
No, let's have him tell us what's happening first, and then we'll have a discussion.
Well,
Well, but do we want Kevin's rationale, or would we like the legal?
Kevin's the main mod in the room. He put the topic up. I would like to hear what Kevin has to say.
So I'll tell you this, right? Florida abortion, I would definitely, I know about it, and everything, and I definitely know it's going on the ballot. But in the Supreme Court, and but I would definitely rather hear from an attorney on this situation. That way we can get a clear context. So I will pass it to Shauna right now so she can actually read exactly what it is, and then we can move it on from there. Let's go, Shauna.
I'm trying. So the Florida Supreme Court upheld the limited abortion, or the very limited abortion ban, and it goes into effect. But it has also been put on the ballot to remove the entire 6-week abortion ban, so that the people of Florida can have their say. Should the people of Florida have their say, like they did in Ohio, and vote overwhelmingly that they don't want this abortion ban, then whatever the Supreme Court of Florida, not the United States, goes away, and whatever the people vote on goes into place. That is the current status of that 6-week abortion ban.
I mean, so what do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, I'm not quite sure what there is to think. I just want to give a slight clarification.
Let's get it in, and then I definitely want your opinion on the fact too.
Okay, sure. Well, I just want to give a slight clarification on the Supreme Court ruling, which I hope whoever the attorney was would agree with me. So the Supreme Court ruled that there was a section of the state constitution which does not protect abortion, which then effectively allowed the state to go ahead and ban the abortion after 6 weeks, because that was the potential obstacle. And of course, they did simultaneously rule that the question about whether to explicitly enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution could be added to the ballot. So that's Amendment 4, which is generating a lot of interest as well. So I think that as far as the ruling goes about that section of the state's constitution, I think they made the correct legal ruling, and now it's up to the state to decide on the direction that Florida wants to go in the future.
So I will say that I do think that this is a genius strategic move by the Democrats, because over in the state of Florida, I think it's over 62% of voters, around 62 support abortion access, even though it's a Republican state. And that, coupled with marijuana also being on the ballot, you're going to see a spike in non-usual voters coming out to back Democrats in the state. So I think that strategically they've done well. So I have to give this one to the Democrats.
Well, don't forget though that Ohio was is still, I think, but was a red state, and overwhelmingly the people came out and voted to allow abortion with no restrictions. And for the person that spoke, I didn't catch your name. Yes, you went into more detail than I did. I find it's easier not to do that on this stage. I was just giving the recap of what and where it stands. 6 weeks, no abortion. November, they will vote just like they did recently in Ohio, and then that will be the law. And if the voters decide that 6-week abortions is the law for Florida, then there is no Supreme Court on that. Just so y'all know, this is a way around the United States Supreme Court. So I don't know if it's Democrats. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's just women in general who have said over and over again, leave our bodies alone.
So I will add one final point. I think politically, let's say this is enough to get Democrats out to vote, and Biden takes Florida, which is unlikely. Let's be honest here. That will basically shoot Republicans' possibility of winning the presidency. I don't think they're gonna get that big of a turnout boost because of this. But the map, basically Republicans have to win Florida to win the presidency every time, right? But Democrats can afford to lose the state overall.
But what does that have to do with abortion? Are you saying that because the Democrats are pushing this, which I don't know that's true, are pushing this to be on or have gotten this put on the November ballot, that more Democrats now are going to come out and vote for Biden over Trump? I would love for you to talk to women, like just on the street, and ask them how they feel. Women don't want this, whether they're 18 or 100. You hear it all the time.
But don't they have the new abortion pill? Like, isn't that suffice?
It hasn't.
Good enough?
No, Kevin, that's something that you have to. I'm getting an echo. So the abortion pill, which we were discussing, I guess it was last week or the week before, that had oral arguments in front of the Supreme Court. That's like the morning after pill. That's not really, which then became called the quote abortion pill. That's something that you take if you had an oopsie with the condom or something. It's not something that you take when you're 3 months pregnant or even 8 weeks pregnant.
But
so
once you've had sex,
yeah, we know. I know.
Like
I feel.
Like you just take that just in case, or like, do we just sit there and wait? Like, we don't really want to have a baby, but we're just gonna wait it out after we had sex.
How is this making any sense, Kevin? You're not making any sense right now.
No.
Why would someone who's not interested in being pregnant sit around and wait and find out if they are?
Well, no. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make context to this, because in reality right now, right? Like if you just had sex with somebody and you got this pill that you could take that's the morning after pill, and you really don't want to have a baby, right? Doesn't it kind of make sense when you know he came in you to maybe take that pill right away? Or does it make sense to wait 3 months and then decide, I'm pregnant, what do I do? Go get abortion?
Well, so Kevin, here's the thing. Okay, women can be on birth control. Laura has talked about this. I have talked about this. Women can be on birth control and still get pregnant. So that's a different scenario than somebody whose condom broke and knows enough to go get the plan B. They don't sit around and wait for 3 months to see if they're pregnant. They'll be peeing on a stick if they miss their period after a day. I mean, they're two completely different things. What you have to understand with Florida is what Florida has done is circumvented everything by doing it this way and by putting it on the ballot the same way Ohio did. Because the Supreme Court left it to the states. Ohio has legalized abortion, no restrictions. The state of California has legalized abortion, no restrictions. If Florida loses what they tried to pass and what the Supreme Court has upheld in November, Florida will allow abortions with no restrictions.
Well, I guarantee, I'll bet anybody right now that is never going to happen in the state of Florida.
Okay. I disagree with you.
Flat out,
I
point
agree.
blank, period. Point blank, period. Okay.
Guys are wrong.
There's
This state has a trend of voting for like they voted to increase the minimum wage. They voted to restore felon rights. This state is not as far as conservative as you would think overall. I actually expect this to pass, and not for it to not even be close, to be honest.
You really do think
I
this?
just want
Hold on 1 second.
Yep, the polling shows that it's been consistent for like the last decade. The majority of it's like 60 to 65% of the state every single time has been polling as being pro-abortion access. So I don't know how you expect it not to pass, given the.
So yeah, I think there's two separate issues here going on. So on one hand, I hear people arguing the merits of, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. And then the other question, which is completely separate, which is how are people likely to vote on this? So I think the opinion polling has been very consistent in the United States. There's a large majority in favor of these types of measures. And every time it's come to the ballot, it's done very, very well. So that's separate from the issue about whether it's right or wrong. The other thing I do want to clarify about Amendment 4, when we talk about it being unrestricted access to abortion. So the wording would allow it to be unrestricted during the period prior to viability, and then afterwards, if it is determined by the person's healthcare provider that it's detrimental to the health of the mother. So it's not like completely unrestricted. It's unrestricted for a period of time prior to viability, and then at any point based on the provision of the health of the mother.
Are you talking about what the Supreme Court just upheld, or are you talking about what's on the November ballot?
I'm talking about the wording of Amendment 4 as I read it the other day.
Right, but what is Amendment 4? Is that what's going to be on the ballot?
That's what's on the ballot in Florida. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's go.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything they want to say, whether they think it's a good idea that Florida has done it this way?
Well, I'll tell you this. Florida's definitely made a mistake because they basically almost handed the Florida state electors to Joe Biden in 2024.
Yep.
Because we know that when abortion is on the ballot, Democrats fare better in those states. Look at Ohio. Look at Kentucky. Look at Arizona. Okay. When abortion is Democrats fare better. And if Joe Biden doesn't wake up and smell the goddamn coffee and get his ass in Florida and start making some offensive moves, I'm gonna blow this shit up.
Hey, TC.
He can't find his way to Florida. He can't find his way there.
An opportunity to take advantage of what the fuck Florida's got going. Hold on, Kevin. You hear me talking? Shut the fuck up.
I want you to understand this.
So listen. If Joe Biden doesn't wake up and smell the goddamn coffee and realize that he can ride this abortion wave, then I'm gonna be pissed. Because Florida is in play, ladies and gentlemen. Texas is in play, ladies and gentlemen. Ohio is in play. It's time that the Democrats get off of this blue wall and get on the fucking blue wave, goddammit, and take advantage of this shit. And go on the offensive, and go into Florida, and go into Ohio, and go into Texas.
He's
Yeah,
not
are you
okay.
TC, are you okay?
Yeah, we
He
need
can't
to
find
talk
his
about
way.
something.
Hold on,
He's
he
a
can't even
Nelson.
get down a, he
TC
can't
is
even,
Nelson
no,
is
can't even
Kansas.
get
Kansas
down
is-
the airplane ramp.
He's a
TC,
Nelson.
you
He
got
can't find his way to Florida.
I'm scared now, TC.
TC's on another fucking planet.
No, hold on, you guys,
Sounds-
seriously.
He wants to find his way to Florida. That's the funniest comment all night.
Listen,
No,
I-
Trump won't be able to leave Florida because of an ankle bracelet.
That's okay, he'll still win. He'll still fucking win. That's the difference.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
This is to my point.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
There's accurate.
After, let me just say this, okay? After we had the proclamation for Easter Sunday,
Right.
okay?
Right.
And then the next day he said, I didn't do that.
He doesn't even know
Okay.
what he's saying.
Like, Are
exactly.
you, I want to know, I really want to know.
That's your man, guys.
Are you-
That's your man.
Is TC actually fucking serious? Like, do you really think that Joe Biden's gonna win the fucking presidency?
They
After
do.
he just create every Christian and every Catholic in on the entire fucking planet?
They do, Kevin.
really
They
think-
really believe it. They fucking do. Just like they
who
thought
does?
Trump. They thought Trump was going to go down on the thing on the money. They truly believe it.
Stormy
Doesn't
Daniels
matter.
Yeah.
is coming up again.
Fucking
Listen,
nuts.
he paid that $175 million. What's up?
Look, cash.
And he paid $100 million. No, he put a bond
I
up
know.
for
Put a
$175.
bond up.
I know
Get
he
your
did.
facts
It's
straight,
It's
Candace.
funny.
Candace.
Listen, when they asked the question, trying to calm down, it's okay. He said, "How you gonna pay?" He goes, "Cash." Hey, listen, you guys are living.
He
in
didn't
delusion.
tell
They
the
don't
judge
understand.
he was going to pay cash. He told his
Oh,
audience out on the step.
I know what he says, Shauna. It's just
Okay, but then use the facts.
Oh my God. Okay, why don't you guys get factual? And the fact that that it was handled properly. Okay.
It was
Oh,
handled
shit.
properly.
You think Biden is really gonna fucking win? It's delusional.
Candace,
It's fucking
you don't
delusional.
even know how I'm voting. All I'm doing is stating the law.
I'm not
And I'm
Shauna.
stating what happened in the courtroom.
Hey,
I've never told anybody how I'm
these
voting.
fucking
Listen,
idiots
after-
on the
after
stage
the
that
ca-
think that
after
Biden
the
is going to
catastrophe-
win. Oh,
Candace, truthfully, listen, after the catastrophe.
it's comical. It's comical.
Okay? Over the weekend. Okay? After he actually fucking denounced Easter Sunday.
I know.
Okay?
It's crazy.
The
He
most
did not
religious
denounce
holiday on
Easter
the
Sunday, Kevin. Stop it.
DCC mute up. Okay? He denounced Easter Sunday. Okay? And then the next day, he said, I didn't do that.
That's their
Okay?
man.
Because listen, you got a guy that's living in a fucking oblivion. Okay? He doesn't know where he's at, where he's been, or where he's going next.
No,
okay?
well, he knows he's
All
not
he
going
knows-
to court.
All,
He knows
all
he's
he
not
knows
going to
is this.
court.
No,
He's
he's
not
not.
having an ankle bracelet. Laura, you got them
Listen,
fingers.
Laura, listen.
No,
All I got to say is
listen.
this.
When he
Kevin,
said
can we
liberty
go
is
back
all
to the
He's
bullshit.
going
There's
to
no
court.
Can we go back to the topic?
Yeah, he's
Can
going to
I ask a
court.
question?
Let's go.
How
No.
this I don't know this. How did Biden? I've heard this. How did Biden denounce Easter Sunday? I just didn't.
Well, what do you mean?
You already know the
You didn't hear it?
No, I'm not
Seriously?
in the loop. I don't know. I was hiking this.
Oh, well, you've been out of the loop. So he actually made a proclamation and said that Easter Sunday was going to be the
He did not say that, Kevin. You're full of shit.
He did.
So
Listen,
He
listen.
acknowledged Trans Awareness Day that started in 2009. It's an international awareness day. He did not denounce shit.
Will you guys let him finish?
Okay, listen. Okay, we're not gonna have everybody talk to each other. You guys turn this into a but he's listening. Okay?
So let's get back to the topic of abortion and not about Easter Sunday or whatever.
No. We're gonna let Kevin.
No, we're not gonna glaze over this.
Easter
Hold on
Sunday
a
isn't in
second.
the title, so I was
Hold on.
trying to lead it back to the other conversation. But if you
Yeah,
don't want
but
to
it's
say,
okay.
Let him hang.
Listen, it's okay once in a while. Listen, it's okay when we're talking about these different topics that we veer off a little bit. Okay, we're just gonna address something right now. Okay, whatever you guys want to say, the fact is this. Okay, the fact is that this has been going on for 15 years. March 31st has been recognized as the Transgender Day of Recognition, okay? Or whatever you guys want to address it as, okay? I don't mind whatever you say you want to talk about it as, okay? But I'm going to say what I want, okay? Because I don't agree with any of it, right? But I want to just bring it into context. So this has been something for 15 years. It's been under Trump. Trump never said anything about it, blah, blah, blah. But here's what cremated the whole situation, okay? Is Biden actually made a proclamation about this holiday, okay? It's been just like a holiday, but now it's a proclamation. So that means that it goes on the calendar. And he fucking put it on the calendar. He didn't say, okay, well, it's going to take effect next year. He said it's going to take effect right now, which means that he fucking did this against one of the most holy days on the entire planet, Easter Sunday. We all know Easter comes on a different day every year, okay? But for him to make a proclamation on this Easter Sunday, and then the very fucking next day, him say, oh, I didn't know that I actually did that, or I didn't do that, okay? You guys are just like in a fucking dreamland, okay? And if anybody, listen, I want to just say this. If anybody actually comes off their mic and defends this fucking clown for this, like, it would be like the worst thing you ever did right now, because we're off Clubhouse, like on Friday. Nobody's ever going to come back to Clubhouse because we're going to be on freaking Chatter. And for you guys to start off your this situation, you're a real good site. But anyway,
Kevin, are you threatening us?
Kevin, are
you threatening us? Who don't agree with you?
Yes, he's threatening you, yes.
Listen.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I'm saying is this. You guys can do whatever you want to do, okay? I never make any threats, okay?
Like, the only thing that I can think of is, like,
stating.
Hello?
Okay? And, like,
Hello?
I talk to people on the weekend, people that actually just come off mic. They couldn't even fucking believe it, okay? They couldn't even believe that this was a reality situation, okay?
Hey, back to you. Hey, just cause you left. No, I was still playing video. And that's when I started talking about the video, the lady in the video.
Hello?
Eating the meat from an animal that's actually lived and eat grass and not corn, which the body can't digest, and then it's eating garbage and it's getting.
It's not on the
Okay.
fucking
Approved by
calendar.
Kevin.
Okay, it's not on the calendar. It might be on your little rainbow calendar, but it's not on the calendar.
Kevin,
Okay.
which calendar?
Okay.
That's a simple question.
Kevin.
Simple question.
Well,
Okay,
if it's on the calendar, if it's on
Kevin, do
any
you
calendar,
hear
it's
what
only
you
on
just said?
it's only on a rainbow calendar. Okay. It ain't on
So-
any other calendar.
So, I mean,
Kevin,
regardless of
that
whether.
is the most homophobic statement I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Oh my God!
The lady
Well,
you guys
I
talked
think we should be careful to separate which parts are factual from our feelings about what took place.
No, listen, there's no feelings. There's the back.
Kevin,
Really?
before
There's
you
no
interrupted
feelings
me,
about that? No, you said you were disgusted and everybody's disgusted.
April, hold on, let Euro go and you can go right after him.
So the part I want to say is there's a factual aspect to this. So there was a proclamation issued. Okay, it's issued by the White House. You can look it up. It was issued on March 29th. I have the text in front of me. It's very clear. And the president specifically proclaimed, by virtue of his authority vested in him in the Constitution, to make March 31st Transgender Day of Visibility. So that happened. Now you could be for it or against it or think it's
Wait, Euro, you have it in front of you, right? Did he mention Easter? Did he mention Easter Sunday? I'm asking Euro. I'm not asking you, Kevin. I'm asking Euro.
I'm telling you, I read it too. Okay, I read the thing 40 times just because I couldn't even believe
Answer the question. You don't, Kevin. Euro, does he mention Easter Sunday in the proclamation?
So in the proclamation, it was issued on March 29th, and it specifically uses the words March 31st. He proclaims March 31st, 2024 as that day. I do not see the word Easter anywhere in the text.
Okay, let me just ask you this question,
Sunday in the text. But the day is Easter Sunday.
One second. Okay, here's the thing. Is March 31st, 2024, is that not Easter or is it another day?
That's specifically what I said. I said that before you even asked me. I said
didn't mention Easter.
Maybe he didn't know it was Easter because he doesn't know where he's at. That's gonna be the next thing to say.
But
He
you guys.
did this, listen, okay?
He did it on the 28th. Did you not when he just said?
Hold on a second. He did this after he took delivery of all the fucking coming into the fucking White House that are going on the White House lawn to be picked up by all the children. And then not only did he do that, he actually banned anything religious in regards to Easter. So all of the children from the National Guards, all the parents that have children in the National Guard for decades,
Let's see who can defend that. Yeah, let's see who can defend
their
that.
Their children have actually been submitting art drawings to be put up in the White House, okay, for the last maybe, 100 years at least, okay? And this year, only this year, not last 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but this year, he banned any religious symbols being on any of those drawings coming into the White House. Now, if that's not a fuck you to the Christians and the Catholics across the entire world, okay, then there is nothing else that you could possibly ever say to that. And unless you're an atheist, okay, and you don't believe in the Christ or anything, okay, then you can come off mic right now if you're an atheist and you want to talk a bunch of bullshit about how he didn't do that. Kevin, that's not true.
That's not true.
I just looked online. That's
Kevin, so that's not true. And the pictures that the kids make are for the Easter eggs. And I just pinned in the chat.
It's 100% true.
No, I just put it in the chat, Kevin, for you to read. Like, come on, man.
You just know how to read.
Don't let everybody know that you're stupid.
Also,
really seriously,
Joe Biden is a Catholic, guys. People forget he's been a Catholic for decades. Like, what are we talking about? He's not even.
He doesn't know if he's fucking. He doesn't know if he's Jewish or Catholic.
We can't hear any of y'all.
The other curious.
It's just blowing hot smoke. We all know that Joe Biden did not cancel Easter. We all know that Joe Biden did not cancel Father's Day when he declared June 19th as National Juneteenth Day. We all know that shit. But Kevin wants to stir this crap up and convince you guys that are susceptible to this bullshit that Joe Biden is taking out all-out war on holidays in America. Give me a fucking break. Juneteenth fell on June 19th, which was also Father's Day when he declared it. National Disability for Transgenders fell on Easter when he declared it. He doesn't have all-out war on holidays, Kevin.
TC, it has nothing to do with holidays, okay? But I'll tell you, you sure wouldn't like it if it was your holiday.
Kevin, do you think Biden's gonna give up running around doing that Easter egg?
Wait. You tell me what my holiday is, Kevin.
Yeah.
Holiday.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Kevin? What's his holiday?
What's my holiday? National Hot Dog Eating Day? What's my holiday?
Trump College
National Moron Awareness Day.
Trump College Foundation
What
Day.
did Bart say?
Negro Month is your holiday.
What did Bart say?
National Moron Awareness Day.
Yeah, no shit.
Festivus. My holiday is Festivus.
Hey, Bart, doesn't
That
it
wasn't
fall on
even
your birthday?
funny. There wasn't even a ha-ha moment.
Okay, let's move it on.
Yeah, let's
keep it going.
Let's move the conversation on to something more serious.
Yeah.
In the topic, listen, Trump sues co-founders. What type of stab in the back bullshit is this, right? Not only does his founders present the idea to the idiot Donald Trump, they presented him the idea of starting his own social media. They presented him the algorithms and everything. They developed the IP. Okay, they are his co-founders. And he's going to turn around and sue them because he needs more money when his company is, everybody is bailing on his company and he loses market share in the first days of his, they going public. Now all of a sudden, he wants to go and sue his co-founders and strip them of their shares of the company. Listen, there's a statement that's attributed to Donald Trump that says loyalty is a one-way street with Donald Trump. You're only loyal to him. He's not loyal to you. He didn't present the IP. He didn't even think of the idea, Kevin. That idea was belonging to the other co-founders. They presented that shit to him, and he accepted it. And lo and behold, now he wants to strip them of their shares.
Guess what?
Loyalty is a one-way street with Donald Trump. You're going to learn that very quickly. Donald Trump doesn't care how loyal he is to you. He only cares how loyal you are to him.
Yeah,
okay,
but
that's
guess
why
what?
he'll never be president again.
TC?
See him for what he is a farce.
You're gonna have
TC, can I ask you a question? May I ask TC or Lisa?
Sean, 1 second.
Can somebody please tell me which co-founders he's suing, and is it because they did not vote unanimously to let him sell it?
It's the reason for.
It's Andy Latinsky and it's Wes Moore. And the reason I know that, the reason I recognize those names, is because I used to be a huge fan of The Apprentice, and they were both contestants, I believe, on the same season of The Apprentice. I think
They were.
And so I legitimately, I only found this out because of the name of this room. I cannot believe what I'm reading. Thank you guys so much for hosting this. This is fantastic. I can't believe you guys are notifying me about. Anyway, sorry.
No,
well, what is the basis of the lawsuit? And Kevin, I would like this to come from somebody who is not a Trump or a Biden person.
No, hold on. Yeah,
Reed,
so I'm going to say this.
Well, I am regarded as a Biden person.
Yeah, Reese is a Biden person. Kevin's a Trump person.
Yeah, so only one, because Reese is
okay,
very level-headed.
Could you break it down for me? Because you always just
he's going to break it down.
Yeah, so I'm looking at an article right now, which is explaining it, and it looks like this is not, the news broke today, but it looks like the lawsuit was filed on the 24th, that basically accuses them of having made reckless and wasteful decisions. I haven't seen the actual filing yet. It was originally reported by Bloomberg, but Bloomberg puts everything behind a paywall, which is garbage. But even they probably don't have a link to the actual filing, which is where you're actually going to see this stuff. And but what's more interesting to me is that the CNN article says that these two co-founders had actually filed their own lawsuit against Trump, arguing that the former president was planning to dilute their stake in the new company. So I don't know which of these things happened first. I don't know, because we know that this lawsuit, which we're only finding out about today, was, like I said, it was filed on March 24th. That's, what, more than a week ago?
Reese,
right?
they sued him, and he countersued.
So he countersued them?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not what this article says, but it's not, oh, wait a minute, it does say that, actually. They had previously, yes, you're right, okay, yeah.
They said they sued Trump because Trump was trying to stiff them of what he had promised them, the stake he had promised them they'll get in the company. I mean, who's surprised? And Trump now countersued, saying that they mismanaged the company and all that bullshit, So
yeah, so
that's what I read.
So it looks like the basis of their lawsuit, which we don't have any date for, but we can presume, based on the way this article is written, that that it was prior to March 24th. We can assume that the basis of that lawsuit was that they were suing Trump to prevent him from diluting their stake in the company. I guess the logic being that with such a controlling interest, so like he had 78.8 million shares, and the other two guys each had.
Okay, so let me just interrupt.
Wait, I want to hear this. How many stakes?
Well, read the
Hold on, Sean.
So I have some information.
Let him finish. Oh, please stop.
Hold on, let Reese.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I mean,
One mic on
good
Reese.
God.
Anybody else? Mute up.
Yeah. I don't have any visibility on how many shares Litinsky. Oh no, yeah we do. Okay, they had 8.6 million shares.
Together, combined?
No,
it doesn't matter because
8.6% stake.
That's not what this article says. The lawsuit states that Litinsky and Moss were to receive 8.6 million shares in the new company. Candace, to answer your question, it does not say each or separately, but it doesn't matter because Trump had 78.8 million shares. So even if they had 8.6 million each, that's not even 25%.
Right.
That's not even 20%.
Right.
Of the total venture. So like I think that what might have happened is, this is now me speculating, I think what might have happened is because he had such a huge controlling interest in the company,
exactly,
he would have had the authority to issue new shares to basically dilute everyone else.
Exactly.
And that is what, and I guess these two co-founders were smart enough to have seen this coming, but not wise enough to have expected it before they got started.
Right.
So, and that was the basis of this lawsuit, and that's why we're finding out. It's because when Donald Trump sues them back, that apparently somehow makes news.
So Reese, what actually happens is usually when you have a company that goes IPO, or even before it goes IPO, usually they don't do just like 100 shares or 1,000 shares. They do 100 million shares, so that the shares can be spread out equally among investors without diluting the value of those shares.
Usually.
So it's routine, it's routine to see 1 million shares or 100 million shares, or a billion shares, well not a billion, but 100 million shares of a company. That's routine. That's nothing. So when he says 8.7%, he means that's correct. It's 8.7% because you have 100 million shares. So 8.7 shares of 100 million shares is 8.7%. It's the same.
Sure. And if they happen to have 100 million shares, so that the math works out that cleanly and elegantly, then fine. But the article doesn't make any sort of. It doesn't say anything about total shares outstanding, which, by the way, makes a lot of sense for a company that only recently went public. I don't know if. So it's possible that the investor took it public still has it.
When you dedicate shares at a startup, usually what happens when you dedicate shares at a startup, you don't dedicate the full 100 million shares.
Yeah, I understand
that. You dedicate like 90% of it because you want to keep shares open for other investors that would invest in the company.
I get all that, and you want to keep something in the treasury. I get all that. This article does not make any claim as to the total shares outstanding. All it says is who sued first, and we can infer in what order this happened, right? Now, as for how the dilution works, like, we can't assume that the dilution that Donald Trump would have had the authority to administer would have been an even dilution of everyone. Anyone who has ever seen the movie The Social Network knows that shares can be selectively diluted as new investors come in, right? To cash out the old ones, right?
Yeah, but if you have a controlling interest, you can determine how shares are diluted.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump basically, and that's what these guys are suing them over.
You can 100% dilute minority shareholders because you're the majority shareholder, so you have all the voting power in the company.
Well, it would depend on how the corporate governance is drawn up, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you're gonna assign yourself how it normally goes, the majority shareholder gets say on how shares get diluted. And if a shareholder says, okay, the dilution happens first on the minority shareholders and then on the majority shareholder, then you can do it that way. So I'm not surprised that lawsuit was filed to prevent that from happening.
I cannot believe this is happening right now because I was so sure that that we finally found people who were actually able to get into bed with Donald Trump and actually be better off because of it. Because if you study the actual history of Donald Trump's business enterprise, so many of the people who get into bed with him, they all regret it eventually, sooner or later. And I thought that these guys appear to have just made out like absolute bandits because even their relatively small share, Candace, let's assume that they have 8.6 million total. That's still such a huge payday. I had no idea that, this company hasn't even been public for a week, and he's already trying to zero them out altogether. That's what the article is claiming, not just dilution, zero them out.
Reese, you said it was filed on March 24th.
You guys, Euro's been trying to say them for a long time.
Yeah, thanks for letting me have the mic.
Hold on a second. You guys.
So that was a great summary, but I have a lot more details. So the lawsuit was initially filed by UAV, which stands for United Atlantic Ventures. It was filed back in February 27th, and it was reported. So I even wrote a post about it in, I think the first week of March or the end of February. But in any case, so this is probably, so the difference with this deal, and because some people make references to IPOs, is it's a little bit different because it's a de-SPAC deal, and as probably some people here might know, the Securities and Exchange Commission has already ruled that the companies involved, so DWAC in particular, and UAV had violated the security resolution, the Security Exchange regulations regarding disclosure. So that's why they had to make a determination whether or not they were going to allow the de-SPAC to take place. Now, they determined that they would allow it to take place. So that was the big news last week.
They didn't have error. They didn't have error in that claiming that.
There was an error, and they fined them. I think it was $15 million, as I recall, and there were some other restrictions placed upon them.
Okay.
But they didn't prevent the de-SPAC from going through. The issue at stake, according to the lawsuit, was in fact that they had an 8.6% share of the TMTG issued and outstanding stock, and their concern was about the maximum amount which was authorized in the firm, which at the time was 120 million shares, and they were concerned about the board approving an increase to 1 billion shares, and that they would be diluted. So that was sort of the basis of the lawsuit, that they felt they were unfairly being, their interest was being diluted. And then as Reese pointed out, Trump issued a countersuit.
So does everybody understand?
Hold on 1 second. Trump's countersuit, as Reese clearly said, was on March 24th. You do realize that is before the merger. That makes both of those lawsuits moot.
I don't think so. Your equity stake before and after mergers.
Killing me, Shauna.
Well, I think it's moot in terms of affecting the merger, but I think Reese has a point in terms of whether there's damage, because there's a number of other lawsuits pending from other people. So there's a whole bunch of people that have filed lawsuits in regard to this, claiming
specifically relating to ticker symbol DJT,
relating specifically to the merger, right? That their interests were affected.
Deleted. They're worried about the mergers being deleted. I mean, they're worried about their shares being deleted.
These lawsuits are common and happen all the time, but your Trump derangement syndrome is also common, and there's a lot of Trump derangement syndrome morons in here. Who here suffers from Trump derangement syndrome?
Who is this?
I do.
No. Who is that guy speaking?
Hello?
I didn't see him.
Is it me you're looking for?
I don't know what guys met me. My name is
TC has the IQ.
I'm not trying to take any sides on it.
I don't know. Why don't you come on?
Because he was putting a siren on the stage. It's not because he's Republican, Kevin. He was just random ass sound on the stage.
We can TC.
But it was Lionel Richie.
I control the stage, okay? Don't kick anybody down.
Exactly. I mean,
everybody's disrupting the stage.
Meet up. TC. Remove anybody from the stage.
Well, I'd like to make another.
I was knocked down because I corrected Reed, so.
So I'd like to make another factual point. So while the lawsuit was filed on February 27th, DWAC already knew that the lawsuit was coming because they had a filing on February 14th with the Securities and Exchange Commission where they acknowledged this lawsuit was likely to come. So it was known that UAV was about to do this. So we've known since at least mid-February, if the company knew certainly before that.
It is. If you put an unnecessary sound effect on the stage, and it disrupts the stage, you get your ass booted to the audience. Point blank, period. That's called mod strength, bros.
So it sounds to me like there's there's quite a bit of litigation going on with this, but most of it is quite typical of any company that is just not public, especially of a SPAC. But Candace, Candace, I don't believe that the lawsuit.
You gotta stop. I never say. Sometimes you always go to that level, like it's oh my god, I can't believe that Trump is going to get
No. You should wait for me to.
They're worried about the diluted shares.
I'm specifically talking about why we're talking about this, which is that because his co-founders, he's suing his co-founders with the intention of zeroing them out altogether. That's what the reporting says. I don't think that's common. I don't think that's run-of-the-mill legislation.
Okay. But the first part of it is that they're worried about their diluted shares, right? Okay. So they filed that suit. So he's countersuing. It's not like this is once in a while. It's just once in a while going to happen. Oh my God, it's crazy. This is Trump going against his people again. I mean, it's like you guys just take it and just run with it like it's nuts, you know?
He's reading from an article and stating facts.
No, Shauna. He also stated his opinion as well, Shauna. He also stated very clearly his opinion about how Trump's going against these people and okay? He did
I don't talk like that, first of all.
No, you don't, but you did make those comments, Reese, okay?
No, I don't think so. They were quite a bit more nuanced.
Listen, life is opinion. The universe is transformation. Your Trump derangement syndrome is rooted in your low IQ and low emotional disorder.
Oh, he did.
Got it real good.
Hold on a second. Jefferson. So, listen, we appreciate your voice, and I want you to talk right now. I want you to be clear, but I don't want you to make stupid sound effects and everything like that.
Yeah, it's very simple. Trump is the greatest president we've ever had, and he has to save the republic. Oh. Joe Biden, clown terrorist.
I agree.
I just want to pipe in and say, I guess maybe he didn't have a comment about Reese
Candace, I just want to say, like, in general, I disagree with probably almost everything you say, but I tend to agree right now that, like, you know, if somebody sues you, the first thing you do is counter sue to make them think that there's a reason to settle.
Right. I agree with you. Thank you for saying the truth, Allie. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to.
Okay, so let's deal with
And
that.
I'm gonna say, hold on, TC.
Oh!
Let me talk.
I gotta let people finish.
And I also
what
want to
they're
say, hold on, let me finish. Good God. I do want to say something. Thank you, Allie, for saying that. You know, unlike most people on the stage, I'm going to say this too. Like, unlike what Allie just agreed, you know, we can all say some things that our candidate that does wrong. When you can admit that something that your candidate does wrong, it shows that you have the capacity to say, wait a minute, it's not just me and my side and pound my chest. You know, I will say what I do not want Trump to do, which I do agree that he does, which is completely wrong, and I don't want to see that ever happen again, is that he did it on Apprentice too, where it's like you create this debacle and this you know, like, oh my God, what about you? And then you, and they're fighting against each other. I hate that about him, okay? I can't stand that he does that, okay? So I think it'd be a great thing for us to be able to admit what our candidate does. When you can say my Biden doesn't know where the fuck he is half the time, okay? You should be able to admit that. The same way I can say Trump does do divide. He does do that, and I do not want to see him do that. I saw him do it at Apprentice. I saw him do it last time he was president. I see that.
It's just your opinion.
So can we?
Hold on.
So Candace is not the
Go ahead, Ollie. Go ahead, Ollie.
Hold on 1 second.
I'll be quick.
Like, do you guys, hold on, Allie, 1 second. Like, do you guys, I mean, is there anybody in the room that totally agrees with everything everyone says? Like, even, do you totally agree with everything that your wife or your husband says, like,
or your
every single day?
Or your candidate.
Your candidate, or, like, any single person
Because there's something
on earth?
wrong with you
Like,
to do.
Like, yeah, I mean, like this
None
is
of us are
like,
perfect.
no, yeah, exactly.
Did somebody
Sometimes
say
we
that
agree.
they did that? Did somebody say
Yeah,
that?
tell that to a Democrat, Kevin. Democrats think they're infallible. Their opinions are always right about everything.
Can I share 2 comments? One.
Okay, quickly.
Okay, one. I did have. Okay, I'm not gonna share that one. The second thought is this.
So it's not a
Candace,
thought.
To be fair,
yes,
maybe
please.
we should check in with Reese because he made a claim that you conflated or didn't see the nuance of something. We don't even know what his.
No, that wasn't it. I was just saying that, like, there's, you know, there is a big difference between when I'm representing fact versus when I'm representing, like, my opinion, and I believe I do a pretty good job of demarcating those things. So that's all.
Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Well, listen, Reese knows I love him. We have a relationship off this app. We're friends, okay? So the bottom line is I agree with you, Reese, at a certain point. But then you keep getting into this, like, I can't believe, you know, da. So there's a line there, yes. You do it very well, and then point, I'm like, wait, let's pull back a little bit, right? Which, you know, so that's all I'm saying.
I mean,
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Like, that's a good thing. That's he kind of fits kind of like Biden, you know? Because Biden, 1 minute he'll sign a proclamation, and then the next day he forgets.
He doesn't remember it.
Oh my God.
It's because he's not in charge. It's his staffers that did the LGBTQ slip-in. They're a bunch of Satanists.
Yeah, no shit.
Who is this wackadoo that keeps coming off my?
Oh my God.
You're the wackadoo, you Trump derangement syndrome psychopath. You're the angry person. I'm happy.
Just because it doesn't agree doesn't mean he can't speak. Exactly. I mean, it's like one time.
Yeah, but calling me a Trump supporter, that's delusional.
No, he didn't call you a Trump supporter.
He said you had Trump derangement syndrome.
Right.
That means that everything. Yeah, that means that you're a supporter because you guys are all fucking deranged.
No. Oh, you guys wish.
I mean, the Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. So
Hold on. Who's that?
That was me. I was just saying that Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. Because I've never in my life seen a president get the most hate that Trump get. And he ain't done, he hasn't done.
And I've never seen a president with a mugshot.
Everywhere.
Hold on a second. Let DJ finish. Come on, man.
Like,
you guys, like,
Trump,
this is terrible, man. Come on. Like,
and here's the
you gotta
reality.
rebut. Listen, when DJ talks, after he gets all done, you guys say
You're
it
the one
out,
that
and
keeps interrupting him, Kevin. You've interrupted him 3 times.
like y'all gotta admit, bro, Trump ain't done half the shit that other presidents have done. And these other presidents ain't got the fucking hate that Trump gets, bro. Like, something's wrong there, and you just gotta admit that. Like, and the fact that y'all,
They won't.
Okay,
They won't.
perfect example, right? So I was born in '76. Like, Trump has always been around black. Trump has always been around black people. Bro, can I finish? Can I please finish? Trump has
Before you do, Trump's not here to hear you.
But TC is.
Go ahead, DJ. Go ahead.
Y'all, come on. Go ahead, Friday.
Listen, Trump has always been around black people in pop culture in a positive way. And all of a sudden, when he becomes president, y'all act like he giving speeches at the Klan rally. Like, it's like, y'all gotta make that make sense, bro. He's always been around black people in pop culture in a positive way. He's always been in close proximity to black people, especially black celebrities. But all of a sudden, he become president, y'all act like he's David Duke all of a sudden.
Depressed, angry, low IQ people hate Trump. They hate themselves.
Well, Trump did get sued for not letting people of color live in his building.
Central Park 5. He's got so much work.
I gaslit them so hard. That was
DJ,
a good
go
one.
ahead.
Ooh.
That's what I mean, because even the Central Park 5, it was a miscalculated clout move. The fact that
And not trying to pay the Polish people for building Trump.
And a full page ad about the Central Park 5?
Hold on.
Like I said, that was a miscalculated clout move that he tried to pull. He was trying to be fucking Superman and say, "Look at me, I'm gonna save the day." It was miscalculated, but the fact that y'all tie that into racism, that shit is crazy. Everything is not fucking about race.
But he never apologized.
Ooh.
He said he was partying with someone on Fifth Avenue. And that he was
listen.
miscalculated.
Because I'm waiting patiently for my turn.
Oh, bitch, you ain't never gonna get a time to talk in this
You guys
room.
are gonna take a swim, I tell you. You're taking a swim. Oh, somebody's already making you swim.
This is like the Trump derangement syndrome Hunger Games.
Hold on, you're gonna take a swim too, dog.
Look, any lawyer, like, you don't always apologize for shit, because the minute you do that, now you open yourself up for lawsuits. I wouldn't apologize either.
DJ, are you done?
Have you landed?
DJ, are you done? Lisa, go. Let's go.
Okay, excuse me, you guys, if I offend anybody, but I really don't care. For a president on stage in front of a few hundred people, well, never mind, I don't know how many people
Bro,
in the
please
room.
don't invoke me being black.
I
That
am
shit is so low vibrational.
Okay, so you're not, but
Like
Tuesday,
take
Fridays,
some
you don't call for me, because I'm going to come. I'm definitely going to come. I'm definitely going to come.
I'm calling.
I'm definitely going to come. And I'm letting you know I'm going to come. So
Lisa, he's not used to hearing women say those words.
It's gonna come. Yeah, that was a burn.
Okay, and you're not black. Okay, but for a man to get on stage who looks black, even though he says he's not.
It is a good room, I gotta admit. And I will compliment that guy TC. He's a very good speaker, actually. Even though I don't agree with anything he says, but he's so good at it. You gotta appreciate his
I didn't
fucking.
hear that part, but I ended up realizing he was saying some real ass stuff. And I just got tired of people complaining about this man for 3 years straight. I'm like, bro, he has to have done something right. And you listen to some of these, conferences and these news conferences that he has that don't get televised on the mainstream, and he's most of the time saying all the right things, you know, like I'm trying to take down